Hey, good morning, everyone. Happy Friday to everyone. How are you guys doing today? Hey, this is Gregory Wiles coming live to you from Houston, Texas, with this inspirational morning talk. For first-time listeners, I'm on at 8:45 a.m. Mondays, Wednesdays, and Fridays. That's Central Time, 8:45 Central Time. That's our time here in Texas. So you can calculate which time zone you're in. But yes, it's a beautiful Friday. TGIF, as they say. Thank God it's Friday. But yeah, today I just want to, I was listening to, Feeding My Own Spirit yesterday, and I heard the story again, and I want to, this is what was led to do, to remind people again about a couple of things from this story. This story here, with Abraham and Abimelek, it got so much of nuggets in it. But I just want to focus on two particular areas that I was being led to point out in this story. We could take this story and go on a whole month in it and pointing out different aspects of it. Because remember, in these Bible, these stories are not just nice stories. God embedded his laws and his principles in a lot of these stories. He just used these men's lives, these characters here, to just point out his laws and his principles, right? So we can, look at a lot of laws and principles embedded in these stories here. But I'm going to focus on two main areas. One, ignorance to the law is no excuse. You can be punished for something you don't even know that you're doing. And two, when we commit sin, we're sinning against God and not against man. So a lot of times we're doing things and we tell ourselves, oh, man didn't see me. I trying to do something to this person and he's not seeing, I'm getting away with it. Or I'm doing some wrong. The pastor don't know what I'm doing. Mommy don't know what I'm doing. My wife don't know what I'm doing. My husband don't know what I'm doing, and I'm getting away with it. And I'm just trying to use this story to show you, no, the person who you really sin against know exactly what you're doing. He feeling the sin. He know that you're sinning against him. He's seeing it. So I want to remind people of this. So that's what we're going to point out in this story here, right? This is the story of Abraham and Abimelek. We can read it through, and then we're going to discuss those two areas there, right? This is Genesis 20. I can read the entire Genesis 20. It's a short chapter. Genesis 20. This is Abraham and Abimelek, the king of Abimelek, right? So now Abraham moved on from there into the region of the Negev and lived between Kadesh and Shur. For a while he stayed in Gerar. And there Abraham said to his wife Sarah, she's my sister. Then Abimelek, king of Gerar, sent for Sarah and took her, right? So he went in this area, he stopped in this area. And he tells Sarah, look, Sarah, say you're my sister. Don't say you're my wife. Say you're my sister. He got a reason for doing this, right? Got back in the days, he can explain why he did it, but I can jump ahead a little bit. If it's a beautiful woman and the king wants to have her as one of his wives, the king is going to have her as one of his wives. So he don't want to, if the king see his wife and how beautiful she is and he wants her for his wife, he tells himself it usually happens that the king might kill him just to get his wife. So he's saying, you know what, say you're my sister and not my wife, right? So that was his reasoning to saying that, right? But God came to Abimelek, so that's exactly what happened. The king Abimelek of Gerar sent for Sarah and took her. So let me read that again. Now Abraham moved on from there into the region of the Negev and lived between Kadesh and Shur. For a while he stayed in Gerar. And there Abraham said of his wife Sarah, she's my sister. Then Abimelek, king of Gerar, sent for Sarah and took her. So the king said, okay, it's your sister. Well, she's a beautiful woman. I'm going to take her to be one of my wives, right? And he sent for her and he took her. But let's go on and see what happened here now. But God, okay, remember this man lied. King Abimelek did not know this was this man's wife. He said, it's my sister. She said, yes, this is my brother. So he took her. So far to us, he did nothing wrong, right? He did nothing wrong. This is my sister. Yes, this is my brother. Okay, I want you to be one of my wives. No problem. We clear. There's nothing wrong, right? All right. But God came to Abimelek in a dream one night and said to him, You are as good as dead because of the woman you have taken. She is a married woman. Whoa, 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 God. You telling this man he's good as dead because of the woman he took. She's a married woman. Right? She's a married woman. You're as good as dead. Why, God? This man did not know that this woman is married. Then the woman husband said, she's my sister. And she said, it's my brother. I did not know. How you're going to kill me? Ignorance is no excuse to the law. Ignorance is no excuse. Right? Let's go on and see what happened. Now Abimelek had not gone near her. So he said, Lord, will you destroy an innocent nation? Did he not say to me, she's my sister? And did she also say, he's my brother? I have done this with a clear conscience and clean hands. So Abimelek pleading this case, God, how are you going to destroy me? I didn't know. He said, it's my sister. She said, it's my brother. I did it with a clear conscience and a clean hands. Why are you going to kill me? Then God said to him in the dream, remember, it's still in the dream. Well, I'm just saying, guys, he did this with a clear conscience. He did not know. But it's still a law he broke. So the punishment still got to come down on him. But God is so feared because he knows our heart. We talked about this before. He knows our heart. So he's so fair. So he's trying to give him a chance. He come to him in a dream and tried to give him an opportunity to do the right thing. Because I know what you did not know. But still, that doesn't mean the law not going to work against you because you break the law. You broke the law. Well, I know you didn't know, but I'm going to give you an opportunity to do the right thing. God can always give us an opportunity where we do things that we did not know, but it's us now to listen, or some of us just continue to go ahead and do what we want to do regardless. He had a choice here, so let's see the choice he made. He said here, now Abimelek not gone near her, so he said, Lord, will you destroy an innocent nation? Did he not say to me, she's my sister? And did she not say, he's my brother? I've done this with a clear conscience and clean hands. Then God said to him in the dream, yes, I know you did this with a clear conscience. And so I kept you from sinning against me. So he said not gone near her, meaning he did not consummate the marriage with sex. He did not have sex with her. But God said, yeah, I know. That's why so it's not on you, dude. That's why I kept you from sinning against me, because I want you to know. I want you to know what you're doing. I want to warn you. So if you still go ahead and do this, well, you know now. You can't say you did not know. Right? So God said, I kept you from sinning against me. And that's the next point I want to point out. Where's God in this? How God said, kept you from sinning against me? You was going to sleep with Abraham's wife. Abraham lied to you, and there's agreement between you and Abraham, but yet still God's saying you're sinning against me. And that's what I want to point out. When we do these things, we are sinning against God, not the man. God didn't say, I kept you from sinning against Abraham. No, God said, I kept you from sinning against me, God. So that's what I want to point out. This Bible are the book of laws. But it's not man's law. It's God's law. So when we break one of them, we break in his laws. Now, man, we're doing things against each other here, yes, and we can get upset and tell the world, oh, this man bad and this man wrong. But it's bigger than that. It's bigger than that. So when we're doing things and we thinking nobody can see us and we getting away with it, that's the mentality we got to get out of. No, we always being seen, because the person who you sinning against, the laws that you breaking, he is seeing them. And I used this example before, just like you in a city, somebody broke into somebody else's house. Yeah, and they get caught. They're going to court, they're going to court and stand trial based on the law in that city that governs breaking and entering. They break the law of the land. They break the law of the city. They break the law of the state, even though they break into an individual's house. Even though they break into an individual's house, the case It's about the law that you broke of that state, of that city, of the jurisdiction, whatever it is. That's where you stand in trial. First is the same thing with here. You might do something against me, like in this case, he was about to, in ignorance, sleep with this man's wife, take this man's wife as his wife. But God said, I kept you from sinning against me. Let this sink in. God didn't say about Abraham no more. This is not about Abraham. Yes, it's Abraham's wife. But when you do this, you sinning against me, God, because it's my laws. I said this is wrong. All right? So God gave him a chance. Yes, I know you did this with a clear conscience, and so I kept you from sinning against me. So I put the lack of desire in your heart. I make you busy. I can't create the distraction for you not going near her, because I want to give you a chance. I want to give you a chance, right? That is why I did not let you touch her. God said, I kept you from sinning against me. That's why I did not let you touch her. Now return the man's wife, for he's a prophet, and he will pray for you, and you will live. But if you do not return her, you may be sure that you and all that belong to you will die. So God's saying, okay, Marcy Wells, good morning. Karen McKen, good morning, good morning. So God's saying, hey, buddy, you didn't know before. It's still wrong, even though you didn't know. I'm let you know now what's up with this situation. This man Abraham lied to you. I can deal with him later. He's my prophet. I got a covenant with him to do some great things. A big nation gonna come out of him. So I got to protect my investment in him. But I know he lied to you, but I'm going to deal with him on the lie. Don't think Abraham getting off with that. He still got to pay the price for the lie that he telling. That's serious, all right? But this is not about him right now. I deal with him later. This is about you and what you're doing. And now I'm giving you a choice. I'm giving you a choice. Now you know the truth. What are you going to do about it? Either you get back the man his wife, or you go ahead and do just what you want to do and satisfy your own, get your own temporary pleasures, but you're going to pay the price for that. How much time we face with those decisions? We're doing something, let's say we didn't know was wrong. I see that happen a lot with animals. Somebody, dogs especially, they might get away out to the person's house and the person can't find them. Somebody else find them and start minding them. No, they didn't know who dog what is. They didn't know who to return it to. They put up some sign. Nobody come. They start keep the dog. No, but when the rightful owner realizes where the dog is and go and say, hey, that's my dog. Now you know. Some people don't want to turn back over the animal to the rightful owner. Some people, now you got the knowledge who is the owner. Now you got a choice. Either you turn it back over to the owner or you keep it and say, well, I like this dog so much I can keep it. Right? You got a choice now. This person could take you to court, or you could settle this thing easy here and get this person back the animal. And so now Abimelek faced with a choice. God said, I know you didn't know. Now you know, buddy. What are you going to do? Give back the man his wife, or you going to get your temporary pleasures? So a lot of times what I'm saying, I was stressing this story. We went over this before, and I point out different things. But what I want to point out in this story here, even though we do something that we did not know, that doesn't excuse us from the penalty of it. Ignorance is no excuse. But God is so fair. If you know heart and we do this, there's Wiles. Oh, good morning, Big Sis. How are you doing? How are you doing today? Hope you're having a great day. So even though we don't know, we not excuse from the punishment from the law. But he is so fair, he gonna give us an opportunity to do the right thing. He gonna point it out to some of us. But sometimes we're so busy and we're not seeing his signs that he's telling us. Sometimes we're just overlooking and decide we're gonna do what we want to do regardless. I know this is wrong, but I'm still going to do it regardless. Right? So Abimelek had the choice. Now let's see how Abimelek chooses. Early the next morning, Abimelek summoned all his officials, and when he told them all that had happened, they were very much afraid. Then Abimelek called Abraham in and said, "What have you done to us? How have I wronged you that you have brought such great guilt upon me and my kingdom? You have done things to me that should never be done." And Abimelek asked Abraham, What was your reason for doing this? Abraham, man, why did you do this to me? Why couldn't you just say this woman is your wife? And none of us want to be here. I wouldn't have to be threatened by God and all of that. I wouldn't have to be threatened by God. Why couldn't you just say this woman is my wife? Why did you have to do this to me? Right? So here Abraham excuse now. Abraham replied, I said to myself, there is surely no fear of God in this place, and they will kill me because of my wife. Besides, she really is my sister, the daughter of my father, though not of my mother, and she became my wife. And when God had me wander from my father's household, I said to her, this is how you can show your love to me. Everywhere we go, say to me, he is my brother. Then Abimelek brought sheep and cattle and male and female slaves and gave them to Abraham. And he returned Sarah his wife to him. And Abimelek said, my land is before you. Live wherever you like. So Abimelek followed what God said. He took option A. Return the man's wife. Let the man. This man's a prophet. I got a covenant with this man. Return the man's wife. I got to protect my investment. I got to protect my investment. As a matter of fact, Abimelek was so thankful for the news, he gave Abraham a bunch of stuff. He gave Abraham, look, buddy, I don't want no trouble with you and your God. Take stuff. Live, do what you want to do. Take sheep, goat, cat, take whatever you want, bro. Because I ain't playing and trying to sin against God. Abimelek did the right thing here. But how much times we go ahead, man? We go ahead. At first, we probably didn't know what we're doing is wrong. Or sometimes we know. And God tried to warn us in all kind of way and stop us. But we still decide that little pleasure we're going to get. That temporary pleasure, that moment, whatever it is we're going to get. We want that so much that we're going to just go steam ahead and do it when we face with choices. Right? God gonna make sure he come to Abimelek and try to tell us some scripture here. Sometimes this is what people hear, and some people hearing this might be the warning. But he can try to reach you somehow to give you a choice to do the right thing. And it's up to us to choose the right thing. So let's go on. Then Abimelek brought sheep and cattle and male and female slaves and gave them to Abraham. And he returned Sarah, his wife, to him. And Abimelek said, my land is before you, live wherever you like. To Sarah he said, I'm giving your brother 1,000 shekels of silver. This is to cover the offense against you before all who are with you. You are completely vindicated. That was like a tradition. I gotta vindicate you. I marry you and all of that. I got to vindicate you. So this is how we're going to do it, to show everyone that I'm sorry for what I do. And this is not going to be held against you. But here, this part, now we're going to end off with this part. I didn't really want to focus on this part today, but I'm going to focus on it and show people what go on. Then Abraham prayed to God, and God healed Abimelek. Abraham prayed to God on behalf of Abimelek. God, the man said, go and let this man's a prophet and let him pray for you. Then Abraham prayed to God, and God healed Abimelek. Healed Abimelek from what? Where he healed Abimelek from? Let's go on and see. He healed Abimelek, his wife, and his female slaves so they could have children again. So you see, God had already put a curse on him and his family. God said, you're going to die, buddy. If you don't return this my wife, you're going to die. So God already put the curse on them. That curse was there present on them already, but he was just waiting. I give you a chance. I'm going to go ahead and let this curse run its course, or I could stop it. I could let this man pray for you. This is why he said, let this man pray for you. Because Abraham had to pray for him now to break the curse, because the curse was there already. And you got to understand, everything we're doing, God needs a man approval to do it, right? So you have to get Abraham to pray the curse off of him, right? So God, let me read that. Then Abraham prayed to God, and God healed Abimelek, his wife, and his female slaves, so they could have children again. For the Lord had kept all the women in Abimelek's household from conceiving because of Abraham's wife Sarah. So I'm saying, I'm pointing out this last part here. How much of us are struggling with things in our lives and we don't know the reason why? Because now, these people here, all these women would have been barren and didn't have a clue why they can't make children, going to the doctor, going on fertility drugs, going this, going that, spending a lot of money, and they do not know that it's a curse because of what somebody else did, right? I didn't really want to get into generational curses today, but I got to point out. So let's look at Hosea 4 and 6 and see why God made this statement, why this scripture is here. Let's go to Hosea 4 and 6 and see what it says. My people are destroyed for the lack of knowledge. See, this case here, Abimelek did not know what he was doing. He did lack in knowledge. But God talking about knowledge in general, but I'm just going to use this. He did lack in this knowledge that this woman was married, right? My people are destroyed for the lack of knowledge. Because you have rejected knowledge, I also reject you as my priest. See, so Abimelek could have rejected this knowledge after he got the knowledge. He could have rejected it, right? Because you have ignored the law of your God, because you have ignored the law of your God, I will also ignore your children. He said, because you ignore the law of God, I also going to ignore your children. So if Abimelek in this case had ignored the law of God, and God pointed out to him, buddy, you're sinning against me. If he had ignored it, God said, I'm going to ignore your children. And that's not what we do. You make all them women barren. So he would have stopped his generation right there. He stopped his generation. He died. The whole generation would have died out because none of them could make children again. And we need them women to make them children. So he will die. Your generation gonna be gone. I can forget your children too if you forget the knowledge, right? I know we talked about this thing before, but I think it's a good point to remind people, man. These laws, we sin against God, not man, when we do these things. We sin against God and not man. God tell him, I kept you from sinning against me, right? So anyhow, man, have a happy Friday, man. Have a great, great weekend and ponder on this and let we know. We could do things and get away from man sin, but the person who we sin against, he always sin, right? And once we keep that, it can keep us focus and keep us doing the right thing all the time, knowing we don't get away with wrongdoing. We don't get away with it. There's a price to pay for it. All right, Renita, you come on a little late. Alan Dwayne, good morning, guys. Have a great weekend. Talk again on Monday. Goodbye.